Hello, everyone, and welcome to a maybe a little later than mid-season recap. This is post-trade deadline. This is post-everything. We are currently, I believe, we are entering week 11, but we have to get some thoughts out here because we made some podcasts before the season started on what we think is going to happen, predictions, and now this is going to be a reflection of how we viewed each and every team and where we were wrong and where we were right, and oh boy, do we have some that we were wrong at. Are you ready to jump in?
Absolutely. I will say that I thought I got 100% on everything, right? I'm pretty sure that that one podcast that you never aired had me calling this exactly how it was going to go.
Yeah, sure.
Or maybe that was just a dream. I don't know.
Yep. So up first, we're gonna look at the AFC East, and we're gonna go down in order of who's on top. And shocking, the New England Patriots are 8-2. Wow.
Yeah. Now we can honestly say that some of that has to do with the teams that they played, right? I mean they have a solid win against Buffalo, so let's not hold it against them. They've been beating the teams that they were going to beat. Um, they could have probably beaten Pittsburgh, but it didn't work out.
Should have.
Should have. I said could have. I was trying to be nice, but hey, you you have to play the teams that are on your schedule. And so if you're beating those teams on your schedule, we were just talking before the pod that we were talking about like net points and everything else, and they're a positive 73. So I mean they're winning and they're winning by margins. So it's not just getting there by the skin of their teeth. So hey, good on them. Buffalo's in second place, 6-3, still super respectable, still not out of it. You do have to worry about Buffalo's defense. I mean, they just kind of got shellacked this weekend by the Dolphins, and then the Dolphins and the Jets are bringing up the bottom of the division, kind of like we thought. So I don't. Do you have your order?
So my order was Bills first, Patriots second, Dolphins, then Jets.
That was my order as well.
And
So hey,
ironically, around 2 hours before we recorded that episode, I had the Dolphins in second place. And I kept on looking over the drafts and I looked over the roster and I said, I just trust Mike Vrabel more. So I upped the Patriots up to second place and trust Mike Vrabel is the lesson of the story. Unfortunately, the Tennessee Titans did not, and we'll get to them. But I do want to talk about the Patriots real quick. As you said, they're beating the teams that played in all that. Like, they haven't played the strongest schedule. I very much love the saying process over results. And I think that can be both for a rebuilding franchise and a contending franchise. If you are just looking like the much better team each and every time you're on the field, no matter if it's offense and defense, I'm going to buy into you a lot more, and I've just seen that with the Patriots. They're a very cohesive unit, and finally they're using their high drafted running back like they should have all season long. Sorry, having fantasy, little angry about that, Vrabel. But they're just looking like a well-oiled unit, and we're recording this the night before they play the Jets on Thursday night. I kind of expect a butt kicking in that one.
I agree with you on that. I do think that, well, aren't they 13 and a half point favorites? So when was the last time that the Patriots, went into a primetime game with a significant margin of predicted win? So that's just showing that they are trending definitely in the right direction. And I mean, Drake May is the real deal. We were talking about this earlier this week that I had him as my number one quarterback coming out. You at one time had him as your number one quarterback. I think you followed along that moniker that you knew who was going to go number one, and you were right. But I mean, looking at it now, having allowed him to sit on the bench and and actually like learn a little bit at that point, and then getting some game reps, and then their offense is just catered to him, right? He throws such a pretty deep ball, and they're aggressive on the running game. I mean, they could be set up for a pretty extensive run. let's just say they're young. They've got draft capital. They're going to get more. So I'd say that Vrabel, is in a pretty good situation, and so are the Patriots.
I'm glad you brought up our Drake May conversation because I went through and I found some tweets of mine of Drake May. So this is from October 29th, 2022. Drake May is awesome, bona fide first-round talent, maybe the best quarterback in college football. And here's another one I thought was hilarious in hindsight. April 24th, 2023, Arizona, I beg of you to not listen to Kyler. You're going to be picking top 2 next season. I was wrong about that, but this is what they should have looked at. You have a shot at Caleb Williams and Drake May. Do what your head coach wants and build up that defense. I feel like that takes age pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say so. Looks like they'll probably be looking for a quarterback next year.
Yep. But we're not here on the Cardinals. That's what I just wanted to state is I always loved Drake May. I just, for some reason, bought in Caleb in the end of the process, and I've been kicking myself since.
Well, let's give Caleb some credit. I mean, he's been playing some pretty good ball. We'll definitely come to him in a little bit, but
I think we have different takes on Caleb.
Once again, I think coaching matters, right? And so, I think that he was in a pretty bad position last year, but like I said, we'll get to them. Do you have anything else for the AFC East?
So Bills, not really. They're kind of the team we expected. They're 6-3. Did they just lose to the Dolphins? Yeah, but the Bills always seem to have that one loss per year we're all scratching our heads about. I kind of feel like that was it. Dolphins, you're worse than I thought, so I got to give you credit for that. The trenches are just horrible, and this is the team that's going to need to hit the reset. I do not believe Mike McDaniels will be the head coach next year. If he is, I'm going to have some more questions about the organization than I already do. And Jets, I need to issue an apology. All of the offseason, I had tweets I was saying on shows that Justin Fields is Daniel Jones with just better publicity. I owe an apology to Daniel Jones. He is far worse than you, Danny Dimes. Justin Fields is maybe the worst starting quarterback in the NFL this year. I think there's a very good case for that. His past 4 games, he's thrown over 100 yards once. It's been bad. It's been horrible. It is not a fun watch. So I just want to issue an apology to Daniel Jones there because I've lumped in with Justin Fields, and I owe you an apology.
All right. So let's move on to the AFC North.
Oh, God.
Hey, guess what? Your Pittsburgh Steelers are on top of the division at 5-4.
For how much longer?
So, looking back at the order that I thought this division was going to go, and this division does have a lot of turmoil in it right now. I mean, Lamar was out for an extended period. Joe is out for an extended period. I had the Ravens on top. I had the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Browns. So, right now, I'm sitting at 1-4.
I'm the same, but I don't think this is going to hold much longer.
No, I don't think so either. But as of right now, the Steelers are leading the division, and they've had some really good looking games, and then they've had some stinkers too, right?
Well, I just want to ask this theory because a lot of their stars are older and they're 0-3 in prime time. Have we considered it's just past their bedtime?
Maybe they are an older team.
Yeah. The Steelers are with what I thought they were. They're an older team that struggles with a lot of speed. That's why the Packers beat them up. They have a lot of speed, and that's just going to give them issues. Do I think they hold on to this division? No, I believe the Ravens come back and take it. Do I think the Ravens are anything special right now? No, as well. I don't think their defense is of quality, to be honest. I know they've had some good games recently. I haven't thought it was against great competition. Bengals, the Bengals are fascinating, and I really wanted to highlight the Bengals here because they play the Steelers in Pittsburgh this week. A loss, I think they're done. You can stick a fork in them. They're done. They're 3-7. A win, they would be 4-6 with Joe Burrow practicing and coming back like Superman.
Yeah, no, it should leave a lot of teams scary. Although let's give some old man legs some credit because
Which quarterback?
Flacco has done pretty well. I'd say. I mean, I'm sorry that last loss, he doesn't play defense,
Oh
right?
God.
How can you possibly do that? I mean, they got rid of Lou Anarumo, and they made him the scapegoat for the last couple years about how bad their defense was. Um, Lou, we'll be talking about where he's at next, and he's making a decent defense look like they're freaking ballers. So I'd say that there's a lot more issue on the Bengals defensive side than just who the play caller was. But once again, there's absolutely no way that you can let happen what happened in that game. So
No.
they should.
I do want to ask this. Does Lou send a Christmas card to the Brown family for saving him from Cincinnati?
I don't know. No. Well, I mean, I don't see that. I'm not a fan of the Bengals coaching staff in general. He's the one that I thought should have. When you go from head coaching interviews one year to being axed the next year, I would pump the brakes a little bit, right? And they didn't. So
Well,
here's
the issue with the Bengals is the issue. Not only us, but everyone has ranted about forever. They don't have anybody on defense. Like, okay, this is gonna sound crazy. Prime Nick Saban, Alabama. Prime, like one of those prime defenses. Would they have done a better job in the NFL than this current defense? And I only ask that because there were so many first-round guys on that team. I'm not someone that says, like, college pros is comparable. But you look at that squad and you look at the Bengals squad, how big of a gap is there for college to NFL?
Well, there is a huge gap. There is no doubt about that. But at this point, you're like, could it be any worse, right? So I mean, that's something that I've always been a proponent of. Everybody on an NFL team got drafted. And not everybody on a college team gets drafted. So there's that defining line. However, there were a lot of first round draft picks coming off of those. So I do understand what you're saying there.
It's why I specifically picked them.
Yeah. I'm not sure. The Browns,
they're exactly what I thought they were. A young team with some talented defensive players, but just a lot of issues. This offensive line. Okay, here's what I'm going to ask you. We currently look at this Browns team. Can they even afford to draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft with this offensive line? Or do you run Gabriel and Shador out there again?
Well, I think you draft a quarterback. And then I think that you run Gabriel out there and you work on building that offensive line again. Some of that offensive line's issues, though, is their quarterback play too. I've watched a couple of their games this year that I'm like, you as a quarterback, you can't put yourself in that position. Break and contain right into the teeth of the defense. I mean, what are you doing?
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'll also state this. When you have a young quarterback, you got to expect those issues. And the offense line they put on the field, knowing at some point they were going to play some rookies. And even with Joe Flacco, they could not block to save him. And look at what Flacco's doing with the Bengals offensive line. Like,
yeah, that is scary.
That is like how do you put such a dysfunctional unit on the football field?
Yeah, well, moving on to the AFC South, the surprise AFC South.
Do we have to talk about the team in
Or
first?
or was it a surprise?
Do we have to talk about the team in first?
Um so what is that saying that you say quite a lot? Um Never wrong, always, or just sometimes early, or something to that
Never
effect.
wrong, just early.
Yeah, never wrong, just early. So a couple of years ago, when Matt Ryan
Oh God.
went to Indianapolis, you and I were standing on the mountaintop going to the. Well, I don't think you picked him going to the Super Bowl. Someone on this podcast did, and and he would be the one talking right now. But I was a little wrong then. Going into this year, I had them in second place, with the caveat that if Houston struggled offensively, I felt that the Colts could be the first place team.
And I had them in last place, saying they would be in the first overall pick conversation. Whoops.
Well, I would like to make a little footnote that I have Jonathan Taylor in two of my leagues, and I'm in first place in both of those leagues. I wonder why. So you had Jackson. You were high on Jacksonville coming into this year, and I was not. I really wasn't. My thing was I did put the Texans at first, with the caveat that if their offensive line wasn't holding, then I picked the Colts. Then I would have put the Texans in second. I had the Jags in third, and then the Titans in fourth. Now, obviously, Houston just had a crazy come from behind win over Jacksonville this past weekend. But I mean, Jacksonville is still kind of holding serve at that second place. I don't know if they're going to be able to maintain it. What are your thoughts?
So I don't think they'll be able to maintain it, strictly because I think we start to look at all the issues this team is now starting to have. Brian Thomas Jr. is out. Travis Hunter is out. And those are your two game changers on the outside. Now, Travis Hunter has not been with what was hyped up about, but he's a rookie. I'll give him some slack. ETN has looked really, really good. And I, at one point, was wondering, do they trade him at the deadline? Because I believe his contract's up after this year, and I think like the Chiefs would have paid something nice for him. But they didn't. They kept on him. The weirdest thing for this Jaguars team is the unit I had confidence in was the offense, and the unit I was scared about was the defense. Reverse that. This defense looks awesome. Devin Lloyd, never wrong, just early, looks awesome. He has been one of my favorite players to watch this year. He is entering the realm of elite linebackers.
Definitely.
He's been awesome. Love to watch that. And this Jags roster, I believe, does have good bones, if that makes sense. It's just there's a lot of work to be done. And also, fire Shane Waldron.
How many times has he been brought up in a negative light on this very podcast?
And mind you, we're not Bears fans. Here's the question. You put a Seahawks fan, a Bears fan, and a Jaguars fan in the room. How many times are they imagining strangling Shane Waldron?
Yeah, see, you didn't have to go violent on it.
I saw Bears fans last year. I think that was nice compared to what they want to do.
He is not an offensive coordinator. And that's evident. This is his third stop, and he's still struggling, right? So for an offensive-minded coach that was going to come in and fix Lawrence, one, you're not even running the same offensive scheme that got you hired, So I I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Jacksonville.
Can I make a
And
bold prediction right now? They trade Lawrence in the offseason. He goes on to like have a Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield renaissance.
oh, I can totally see that. Uh, let's see.
Like I'm just picture this. Matt Stafford retires, Trevor Lawrence is a Ram.
That would be so sick.
But like when I look at Trevor, and I understand he has his turnover issues, but sometimes the coaching and the play calling, it's bad. It's so rotten to its core. Now I understand the segment of you're trying to protect your quarterback. You don't want mistakes happening. He does have his turnovers. I understand that. But Trevor Lawrence did not have these issues in college. He did not. These are issues that have started in Jacksonville. This is his third coach. This organization is dysfunctional beyond belief. I really do like Liam Cohen. I think he's a very good offensive mind. But he changed the system that worked for him in Tampa Bay. What's the old saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why did he fix it? Is it because Trevor is that beyond repair? I doubt it. Or is it because he hired the wrong people and it's just going to blow up in his face? One of my favorite sayings, this is from Bud Elliott of the Cover 3 podcast. It's a college football thing. But I love with what he says. One of the best attributes a head coach can have is hiring the right coordinators. Did Liam Cohen hire the right coordinators? I don't think he hired the right offensive staff. Defensively, I think it's really good. But offensively, I think he messed up.
So your theory, if they traded him in the offseason, they're looking at $116 million in dead cap. Their cap hit next year would be 24 million. They'd be at 35 the following and 47.
Maybe.
Oh wait, and then in 2020, what?
I take it his contract is structured very weird.
Well, I guess so. 5 years, $275 million. So his contract goes to 2030. His cap hit, oh, those are cap hits, excuse me. His cap hit number for next year is 24. His cap hit for 27 is 35, 47 for 28, 78 for 29, and 74 for 2030. His dead cap is 116.5 next year. Then it does have a significant drop. It drops down to 65 million in 2027. So
maybe not a 2026 move, but a 2027 move.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay. Moving on, because we spent a good while on the Jags.
Yes, we did.
The Texans. The Texans are in a category with another team. We'll get to that team in the NFC. But it's you had one job in the offseason to make this competent, and you have something. The Texans decided, why have a competent offensive line when C.J. Stroud can get killed? And hey, at least their plan seems to be effective in letting C.J. Stroud get killed. Because you can't convince me they thought this offensive line was improved. They wanted to kill C.J. Stroud.
Well, I mean, they had significant injuries going into the year, so we'll see. I mean, they've actually been playing pretty good, but I mean, the running backs are injured. There are just certain teams in the NFL that seem to have. I mean, it may come down to burn your building down and build a new. You might have put your training center on a freaking Indian burial ground or something, because it. I mean, look at San Francisco.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't tell me that there is just not bad karma there. It's like, they announce that training camp's going to start in 2 weeks. And the next thing you know, you have 2 blown ACLs and they were sitting on their couch when they blew them. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. And Houston's the same way.
Chargers.
The Chargers, I mean,
And that curse followed cities.
yeah. Well, and the thing is with the Chargers is you can't even say it's like bad grounds because the Rams don't seem to have that issue, right? So it's interesting how that seems to go.
Yep.
Let's go with the Titans really quick. They fired their head coach. They're going to be looking for a new head coach in the offseason. The little that I've watched Ward this year, I think that he's got some good to him, but they are so far away.
This team was relying on Tyler Lockett to be one of their top receivers. You love Tyler Lockett. Is that a good idea in the year of 2025?
No.
Yeah, it's not pretty. He has no help. Now, I just want to ask you, what coach do you think the Titans should go out and hire? Because, let's be honest, that's what Titans fans kind of care about right now. They care about Cam Ward's development and who their next head coach is going to be. I've struggled with this, but do you maybe call the guy in Seattle?
The guy in Seattle. Are you talking to Kubiak?
Yep.
No.
Is that because you are declining the call?
No. This is a little early on this. I thought that we would.
No. We're going to get into it, but I'm just trying to list off a coach that the Titans fans should maybe look towards.
Honestly, Brian Dable.
Yeah, if he's available.
I would literally just reach out and start talking to Dable now.
And Dable, right? From everything we've read, loved Cam Ward.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. Dable would be a great hire. I don't know if he's available. I think someone else has swooped in there already.
Well, I don't know, but I just think that somebody you can say that he had bad choices on the defensive side, and maybe even some bad offensive OC sides. But look at what he did with Dart, because you have to admit that going in, you were so adamant that Dart should not see the field this year because he just wasn't ready. And he has played some really good ball. And I'm just going to attribute that to coaching through the rough to get him to a point where he can shine with what he's good at.
100%. And
I think that that's what Tennessee needs right now.
And it's also why. Okay, you want to know what? No, I'm saving this rant for when we get to the Giants. Okay, moving on. Titans fans, I'm sorry. There's not a whole lot to talk about your team, unfortunately.
All right.
AFC
and
West.
Now, let's go to the AFC West because, everybody on this pod called the Broncos were going to be in first place, right? Oh, wait, no, wait. Hold on. I have them in third.
I maybe actually had them in fourth. Yeah, I did. And now
okay.
we're going to talk about how wrong I was on one team. The Broncos. I want to rip my eyeballs out of their sockets when I watch their offense. It is horrible. I am not I understand your quarterback's winning games. Quarterbacks are not a win. Is not a quarterback stat. I'll die on that hill. Put in Jarrett Stidham. I'm not joking. I can't watch much more Bo Nix. He is inaccurate downfield. He holds on the ball too long. I don't feel like he can read a zone coverage to save his life. The only time the Broncos can move a little bit on offense, and I mean little bit, is when it's man coverage. It just throws zone at him all game. He is confused. They couldn't put up points against the Raiders.
So going into this year, going into last year in the draft, neither one of us were Bo Nix fans. But he had a really good year last year. When you went back and you looked at the level of competition that he faced last year, when he had that run, it was not. It wasn't top of the league competition. He won the games he was supposed to win, right? And he put up numbers in those games, but not good.
No.
Okay, this year he has unequivocally the best defense in the NFL.
One of the best defenses I've ever witnessed.
I would 100% agree, and I'm like, a couple years older than you. So, but they are amazing. And the offensive line seems to be struggling this year more so than it was last year. They're not running the ball as effectively as I honestly thought that they would. I thought that they were going to run the ball pretty well this year and just struggle at the passing game, but they're just offensively struggling, but they're winning, right? So they have a pretty tough stretch coming up. So we're going to see what happens over the next 4 or 5 games to see if their offense is going to be able to put up enough points to win some games against some pretty good competition.
Yeah, there are two thought processes I can see how this goes. I think the Broncos either lose most of their games down the stretch and actually miss the playoffs, or they lose the division and just get trounced in the wild card round. And
I think they're losing the division, and no matter what.
I agree with that. I think the Chargers are going to win the division. We'll talk about them in a second. But this team, let's see. I'm going to list off all the teams they beat. I want you to tell me when they beat a over 500 team. The Titans.
Nope.
The Bengals.
Nope.
The Eagles.
Yes, and that was a fluke win.
The Jets. The Giants.
Burned my eyes out with that Jets game, though, by the way.
The Cowboys.
No.
The Texans, with Davis Mills coming into the game.
Yeah, I remember that. No.
And the Raiders.
No.
One win over a team over 500. Now, they've played 2 other teams over 500 this year. The Colts, hey, close loss. Hey, Chargers, hey, close loss. Oh, wait, the Chargers were without their starting tackles, and Joe Alt's coming back here soon. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So like we said, offensively they can't do as much as what they had hoped. Defensively, their team is freaking amazing. And I this just hurts me to say, but I love watching their defense because I don't like anything about the Broncos, but I love their defense. So
can I say something I have found out in the past couple days? Vance Joseph is probably going to be a head coach. He's, based off everything I've heard, he's going to be the Giants head coach. So that tells you how good this defense is. Because if anyone remembers Vance Joseph's first 10 years head coach, it wasn't pretty. But he's done such a remarkable job. And actually, I found out a fun fact recently. Did you know the last time he was in Denver, he didn't get to pick a single staffer out?
I feel that I heard that before. But yeah, I cannot confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I found that out recently. I thought that was very fascinating. Now, moving on, I really do think this Broncos team just struggles in offensively so much. I've compared them to the Kenny Pickett Steelers, and I still kind of will, of when they play the good teams, that this offense will not be able to drive the ball, and eventually the defense will break because they'll be on the field so much more. Time of possession is a big part of the NFL game, and you can only do so much if your offense does not hold the ball at all.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Now moving on to some bright spot. When's the last time someone said that about the Chargers? The Chargers, and mind you, this is what I said about a team that was 8-2. Just wait till we get to the Raiders. The Chargers, their tackles have been hurt. They've had a lot of injuries. I kind of love this team. They're so fun to watch.
So here's the thing, and I'm going to deny that I ever said this. If you ever bring it up again,
I got this recording.
you have to consider Harbaugh as coach of the year just because he has kept them on this path with all of the injuries. I mean, your tackles go out, your best defensive pass rusher. I honestly I thought he was out for the year when I saw that injury.
Yeah.
It's just one thing after another.
Top two
Your
running backs.
top two running backs are out. I mean, it's like seriously, it's he has changed the mindset in LA for that team. They used to be cream puffs, and now they're physical, they're aggressive. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta like watching them play.
So I don't know how many people stayed tuned to the end of the Steelers Chargers game. There was a moment that they did a pop pass to Keenan Allen, and I believe it like broke Antonio Gates' record for most receptions or something. It was something very significant for the Chargers organization. And they mobbed him. And this, I'm going to compare this to hockey. In hockey, whenever the team wins the cup, you always hear they love each other. And the teams that don't love each other, you can see it. I watched that little thing, that play. It's so minuscule. It's at the end of the game. At that point, like your team won, you kind of just want to go shower, clean up, take care of that. But they mobbed Keenan Allen. They were celebrating the sideline. That's a team that loves each other. And I think they're terrifying right now, especially with the fact that Joe Alt is coming back. Joe Alt has been tremendous. Kamani Vidal, it's kind of why I wasn't the biggest fan of the Chargers drafting a running back, has looked awesome. I'm so excited to see for like the next 3 years of him and Hampton as the 1-2 set. That will be fun and dynamic. Their receivers, Quentin Johnson has improved drastically. Keenan Allen, I guess he's got some juice left. Lad McConkey's just Lad McConkey. I mean, the dude's awesome. And then Justin Herbert, next time you watch a Chargers game, there's going to be 2 plays in that game that you're going to watch and be like, Justin Herbert is so much better than an average quarterback. And I hate the term that people phrased him, the social media quarterback, because he's not. He just didn't have a team that could win. Now he's got a team that can win, and they're dangerous.
Hey, so do you remember who I picked for the MVP of this division?
Was it Herbert or Mahomes?
It was Herbert. I have Herbert as both offensive player of the year in this division and the MVP in this division.
I think I just took Mahomes as a cop-out. It's an easy cop-out to take.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do you have anything to add for the Chargers, or do you want to go to the Chiefs?
No, let's go to the Chiefs.
I hate this offensive line. I hate it so much. Let me be specific. I don't mind some pieces, but the left side, and this was really noticeable with Simmons out. Simmons coming back. I don't expect to be as bad, but whoever they play in left guard, and then you have Jalen Moore at left tackle, it was horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I have seen Chiefs fans speak with a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of cockiness, which I understand. Your team's been so dominant. I have not watched the Chiefs this year and felt like this team's a Super Bowl caliber team. And here's the thing, if the playoffs started today, they'd be outside of the playoffs. Like, there are issues with this Chiefs team, and it really, to me, it goes to the trenches on both sides, which shocks me defensively because I don't think they have a pass rush ability whatsoever.
No, well, I mean, let's go back to last year. They struggled to have an exterior pass rush unless Jones switched to the outside. When he switched to the outside, they were negligent on their interior pass rush. They've lost some of their. I mean, you think about it. The last 2 years, one person in their secondary has left both years and been one of the highest paid free agents. So, you're losing the pieces on the defense that helped slow down the passing game to where your less than stellar line could get home, right? And so it is coming to roost. There's still a I mean a good offense. I mean, you think about it, there's a lot of, I mean, even Denver has given up more offensive points than the Chiefs have, right? So, and the Chiefs have played tougher competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we just got done talking about how just amazing Denver was on their defense, and yet the Chiefs have given up less. Houston, getting to real quick, has only given up 150 points this year. Denver 173, the Chiefs 159, right? So teams right now need to just be hoping that the NFL for some reason doesn't continue the season and just goes to the playoffs after this week, to where the Chiefs will be out, because they're only going to get better.
I don't know if I want to watch my team get their butts kicked by the Chargers again.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't.
I just say that because they'd be the playoff matchup right now. You are right. The Chiefs, they're this weird thing that, like, I don't think highly of them, but I know at any second they can turn it on and make me look like an absolute idiot. And that's the dangerous thing talking about the Chiefs is they have so many issues, but they have Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Issues be damned half the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we have the Raiders, and we both picked the Raiders to finish last in the division.
I had them third. I had them third place because I thought, hey, Geno, Genti, Brock Bowers, Pete will get this defense playing at some level. I neglected one part. That offensive line.
Well, you're also forgetting the part where the OC that was hired.
Well, actually, I didn't. I really wasn't as negative about that as I should have been.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. I was just mentioning, like, when I was thinking about the team, I really didn't put much thought into the offensive line. The offensive line is horrible. I am happy they did not move Jackson Powers-Johnson. I thought they were gonna at the deadline. Very happy for their fan base that they didn't, but Chip,
I would not have been too distraught
because your team was attached to it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. My bad.
Yeah.
All right.
I made an issue of overlooking their offensive line issues, and Colton Miller getting hurt drastically hurts them, but their offensive line combined with Chip Kelly, who just... You think he's going back to college?
So we can officially put a pin in the Chip Kelly experiment, and he is highly successful in college, and he just needs to stay there.
I think this is the last year we see Chip Kelly coach. Because he left college because he does not like NIL, he does not like recruiting, and he can't coach at the NFL level, so I bet you anything he's on ESPN broadcast next year.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Man, we can have draft coverage of Chip Kelly and Mel Kiper together. Imagine that.
My TV doesn't get that channel. All right, on to the NFC East.
The NFC least. Eagles, okay, I'm going to sum this up. Your offensive coordinator sucks. Your team should be better than it with what it actually is. But your OC is not good. Your offensive line has had some issues staying healthy. If Lane Johnson is seriously hurt, I have major concerns about the Eagles. But their defense is still talented, especially Jalen Carter playing. They should be fine and will be in the top 4 for the NFC come playoff time. Did I say anything incorrect?
No. So here's the thing. Okay. Looking at the playoff picture right now, right? So they are, I do believe, still the first place team. So they're the first place team. So if the playoffs started today, they would play the Packers, Well, no,
No,
actually,
no, no.
no. They would play the winner of so because the Packers would play the Seahawks, the Bears would play the Lions, and the Rams would play the Bucks. So
Congratulations on playing the Rams Eagles.
yeah. So do you honestly think that the Eagles, the way they're playing right now, can either beat the Seahawks, the Lions, the Bucks, or the Rams?
Okay, they have one of those teams' numbers. The Rams. For whatever reason, the Rams cannot beat them. I don't know why. My guess is Vic Fangio just knows how to pester Stafford because he's seen him so many times. So maybe the Rams I'd give them advantage in. The other teams, no. And I think come Sunday Night Football against the Lions, I'm taking the Lions to beat them.
Oh, to beat Philadelphia?
Yeah, they play this week on Sunday
Oh,
night.
oh, yeah. No, 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 no. I fully agree with you there.
Seahawks, the Seahawks defense is playing so good right now in the front seven that I look at this Eagles line that has struggled, and I can't remember the last time I said that about Eagles line, but it has struggled. And Lane Johnson, if he's dealing with injuries, I don't have faith in it.
So just to piggyback off of that real quick, because the Seahawks, you mentioned their defense, they have the second highest sack total in the NFL, and they've gotten sacks from 13 players.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts, a guy who holds on to the ball too long.
Yeah. All right. So, but other than that, their defense is playing solid. This is a cyclical thing for them, right? They do super well in the playoffs. They lose their OC and their DC, and then they hire. They did hire Fangio, but they hired another guy, and they sucked. And then they brought in
Kellen.
and they won the Super Bowl. He leaves, and now their offense is repugnant again.
So I just got to shout out the guy who you didn't mention his OC, Brian Johnson. Love him. Go Gators. He was awesome in Florida when he was there. Had to. Kevin Patulu, he's not. He just doesn't look like an NFL offense coordinator. And before Eagles fans say that we're downing you guys, this is not us really thinking this team's bad. This is just us being disappointed compared to the level we think the Eagles should be playing at.
No, no. This team, if you fix the play calling, I think they tear it up again. Yeah. I really do. They're not fixing the play calling. That's the problem, right? And so, and does that mean throw every pass to Antonio? Or, not Antonio, but
hey, let's not get demonetized here.
Sorry, you know what happens when you follow the news.
AB's got some issues going on. We're not talking about him.
Yeah, no. All right.
Okay.
So
you ready?
That's not saying throw every pass, right? But what I'm saying is, when you have something that's working so well, when you bring in somebody new and they just try to change it, that's your entire makeup. You win a Super Bowl off of how your team functions, and then when you try to change it, it's mind-boggling that the egos of coaches do this. Interesting.
I do want to mention something you brought up. This is me personally when I watch the Eagles this year. I think the offense is a lot better when they try to include Devonta Smith more than A.J. Brown. It feels like they try to force-feed A.J. Brown so much, and then Devonta Smith just comes open, and they use him properly, and the offense looks better.
Well, once again, go look at how they're using Brown. Oh. They are literally – they've kind of delegated him to what DK used to be in Seattle, right? They're not using him on the the cut across the center of the field stuff. They're not doing that stuff with him nearly as much this year. It's 20-yard outs that they're throwing, and he's going to do that, but he's not, they're not utilizing him to the fullest extent of what he has done in the past for this team. And it's sad.
Yeah.
So ironically enough, I was looking at my notes for this. I had this exact how the division's set up right now: Philadelphia, Dallas, Washington, and the Giants. And what we said in that podcast was that if the Giants offense could be good with the defense, what we thought the defense was going to do. This is the defense that's allowed 273 points, by the way. But we thought that they could actually finish second in this division because
they still can.
They still can. So literally between Dallas and Washington and the Giants, you have 8 wins, and Philadelphia has 7 wins. So yeah, it's anybody's game for second place. But we were absolutely right on where Dallas and Washington are this year. And for completely correct reasons too. We thought that Washington was kind of an anomaly how they got it last year because they had brought in a lot of pieces. Those pieces are old. They're going to fall off. That's pretty much what has happened this year.
You're telling me a bunch of people in Washington are too old and ineffective at their job? Wow.
Let's not go political jokes, please. Come on. Seriously. But Dallas, we were definitely worried about their defense. And yeah, I mean, that's, they've given up 277 points this year. They're not the worst in the NFL, but that's just because Washington has played both the Rams and So I mean, it's not good. The Commanders have had a bad couple of weeks between what Seattle did to them, between what the Lions did to them. Yeah, it's just been a rough couple of weeks for them.
So Dallas, I don't really have a lot to say. This is what I expected from you guys. Your defense is bad, and you trade away your best player. It's kind of what I expected. Washington, I have one issue with this team. Now, listen, I spoke my piece on them during the entire offseason. I thought they had one of the worst offseasons in the NFL. And I stand by that because they got older, they did not get younger, and it made no sense to me. Now, I look at them and I'm thinking, okay, the one thing that would make this season completely horrible beyond belief would be you get Jaden Daniels hurt. So why was he in the game that late against the Seahawks? And I saw Dan Quinn's comments that he was like, wow, I messed up there. Yeah, you don't say. And maybe for a lot of head coaches, I could give them a little bit of a break because you're a new head coach. Hey, this is your second year. No. You've been to a Super Bowl before. You were with the Falcons for a long time. You should know better. You worked under Pete Carroll, one of the best coaches the past 20 years in everything. There is no excuses for that.
So the only thing I'll say to that is that he just was coming off of injury. So trying to work him back in the game, trying to get his timing back, I can totally see. But at that juncture in the game, you tell your guy, you do not put yourself in harm's way. Yeah. That's as much on Daniels as it is on anybody else because he has to be smart about it. Okay. And I mean, you want to talk about a fluke injury.
I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to think about it.
All right. And then the Giants, the head coachless Giants.
Okay.
I was wrong about their defense. I thought their defense was going to be just freaking lights out.
It has been lights out offense.
It has not been pretty.
So my issue with the Giants, yes, their defense, all that. I honestly don't care how they do the rest of the season. The comments after Brian Daboll got fired, I bit my tongue because I knew we were recording this. I did not make it short like I wanted to. But I'm gonna now. The New York Giants are keeping Joe Schoen to make the head coaching hire. Joe Schoen, The man who has messed up so many moves for the Giants, he's staying. But the guy who reconstructed Daniel Jones for one great season with the Giants, got them to the playoffs, won a playoff game, you're fired. Was working out really well with this young, dynamic rookie quarterback. Oh, nope, we're done with that. You're fired. Oh, the defensive coordinator's safe, though. He can keep his job. What? I don't get what the Marr family is doing anymore. I have tried to defend them. I have tried to see logic in them. I'm like to the point where I was when they brought back Joe Judge originally. Then they were like, oh, the fans are upset. Let's fire him as well. That's what I think this is leading with Joe Schoen. I believe the fans are going to cry about it. They're going to have uproar. And then it's going to be like, oh, well, this is bad publicity. Let's get rid of him. The Giants have something, but they decided to screw it up. Ever since they have let go of Tom Coughlin, they have screwed everything up. And maybe Dable wasn't the guy. Maybe he wasn't. Okay, well, he's working out really well with your rookie quarterback who looks much better than I thought. Why don't you keep him for the rest of the season and continue working with him? Oh, let's promote the offensive coordinator that to head coach that had the play calling duties ripped away from him every single year when the offense was inept.
I would agree with all that. Okay. Hey, moving on to the NFC North. I mean, obviously.
Blue Kitty go roar.
Yeah. So I had the order that I had going into the season was the Packers, Lions, the Bears, and the Vikings.
But you changed it at our final predictions thing. You put the Lions in first.
That's right, I did. I forgot about that.
And I had the Lions in first, and at the predictions, I put the Packers in first.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah. God, I'm a genius.
I should have bit my tongue.
Anyway, hey, good on the Bears, right? So once again, beating the teams that they need to beat. So we'll see if they can continue that. They still have a lot of division games to play. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right?
Yeah, the Bears, I'm losing faith in Caleb. I am. I try to watch the Bears every Sunday because I want to talk about Caleb Williams because he gets views. Honestly, I'm going to be honest, everyone. I talk about Caleb Williams because he always gets good views for this channel. So I watch the Bears and I can't make videos some week because I just look at him like I'm just disappointed. And maybe this is unfair to Caleb that I had these really high opinions of him that he'd be really good, but I watch him. He doesn't have any chemistry at all with DJ Moore. That they should have traded him at the trade deadline. Rome Odunze, I see some good stuff with him there, but apparently Rome Odunze has a family member that goes on Twitter and is very angry with Caleb Williams and the Bears, how they use him. I see that come across my timeline once a week at this point. I'm disappointed with them, and then I watch their defense. I'm just disappointed with it. The Bears are 6-3, and I'm very happy for them, but I don't see this lasting. I think they're going to fall off down the stretch. I just do.
Well, they're going through the meat of the schedule coming up, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
You lost to JJ McCarthy. I mean, that gives you zero credibility in my books.
But the Lions, they started off kind of rough, but once again, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. So there was going to be, some learning pains. And we know now that Campbell is doing the play calling. Obviously, it worked out really well. And as long as he keeps using Jahmyr Gibbs the way he did last week, I have no problems with it.
Spoken like a fantasy owner.
That is exactly the take I had on that. Chicago, once again, I don't think that they're going to maintain the thing, and I think Green Bay will end up in second place. But I think a conversation currently needs to be had with the Packers. We were talking a little bit today. LaFleur has a little bit of heat on him, but I think Love has to have heat on him.
Love should have heat on him. Okay, this is going to sound weird. Like, what's going on with the Packers and their wide receivers? Because they're supposed to draft these guys that are dynamic, and since Rodgers has left, they have not been that. And even at the end of Rodgers' tenure, it was not good. Have they had the same wide receiver coach in Green Bay like for this long? Because I think it might be time you look to move off him, because Matthew Golden was supposed to be this really good player, and I just haven't seen him much. Watson never lived up to the hype. Romeo Doubs looked really good for a stretch, but has fallen off. Like, their receivers, I'm just so disappointed in. And it really led to me just falling in love with Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft was awesome. Well, he's hurt. So I don't know who the alpha is in this receiving core to really step up and help Jordan Love out.
So here's what I will tell you to do. Whether you want to do this or not, but go back and watch 2 of Green Bay's games this year.
I am not picking Monday night's game.
Just go back and watch the game against the Steelers. Okay.
How did I hurt you?
Well, no, it's not.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's not a matter of being hurt. It's just when you're watching that game, watch how the receivers are releasing. Okay, because they're into their routes and they're releasing, and he's finding them. What happened in that game for some reason is the Steelers could not get penetration. They couldn't get him.
So
go back to.
I actually know why, because I did rewatch that game and I have a whole notepad on that. I watch all my team's games back. With what happened there was Aaron Rodgers. Wow. Jordan Love was getting the ball out in less than 2.5 seconds, which really messed up the Steelers because they were playing a softer zone coverage, which, story for a different time. And that was allowing the Packers receivers to really get open, get quick breaks, and they were really able to take advantage of the Steelers secondary. The Steelers pass rush was just completely null and void because Green Bay was getting rid of the ball so quick, there was nothing they could do.
Exactly. But the key thing there is they're not getting pressure on Love. Go back to the Cleveland game. Go back to the game this past Monday that you don't want to watch. He's holding onto the ball. There's so much pressure. The teams are playing that inline short, quick pass game that, unfortunately for you, I'm not the Bengals, but the Steelers did not stop, and it was effective. And so he's struggling as soon as he gets pressure, and he either runs or he panics. And so literally just go back and watch those games and you'll see what I mean. Minnesota, let's get on to Minnesota real quick.
I do want to say one quick thing about Green Bay. Do not fire Matt LaFleur. I've seen the story pop up. If you fire him, he'll be hired in an instant. Just knock it off.
He'd be a great head coach down in Tennessee.
He'd be a great head coach anywhere. I don't care if it's college football. Like, if that spot's open, Matt LaFleur there. I'm a Gator fan. Great coach. I'll call Matt LaFleur on my own phone and get him hired.
Yeah,
I'll pay someone else's money for it. Okay, now moving on to the Vikings, and boy, will we right on these guys.
Absolutely. That Super Bowl caliber roster, except one position.
And it's what annoyed us so much, and it was to the point it was breaking your brain that we would talk after. I think it was after the Steelers game where Carson Wentz played, and you were like, they need to trade for someone. They need to trade for someone. I said, they're not gonna. They're gonna keep McCarthy and try and ride it out. and you couldn't wrap your head around it. We're now past the trade deadline, and can you wrap your head around it yet?
Yeah, it's called dumb.
Like, I understand trying to keep confidence in your top 10 overall pick, but he kind of sucks. And I know people are saying, hey, he beat the Lions. He beat the Lions. Okay, watch that game. Watch the All-22, because I did on an airplane. And you know what my takeaway was? Wow, this Vikings team is awesome. Wow, their quarterback sucks.
I think sucks is kind of a hard word. He's an NFL quarterback for a reason. Okay. He's just not ready. He is the youngest quarterback in the league. Is he still the youngest? The youngest starting quarterback? I think so.
Yeah, I would.
I think he's still the youngest starting quarterback in the league.
It's him or Dart.
And so you could be right though, but so he has so much to develop. He wasn't used in an NFL capacity, an NFL offensive capacity while in Michigan.
Dart
And so
Dart is 2 years younger.
okay.
I'm not 2 years. Not 2 years. 2 months. My bad. 2 months.
Okay. So I mean, just go trade. They should have gone and traded for somebody. Honestly, to be quite 100% honest, they should have kept either Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold.
So, can I say why I think that both those guys left? Because they were okay letting Darnold walk. They wanted to keep Daniel Jones, and I don't remember if this was outright said, but it was kind of implied that Daniel Jones didn't want to be there because if he had a little bit of a bad stretch, the fans would be clamoring for J.J. McCarthy to play, and he didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah, well, you are 4-5 for a reason, and that's called poor roster management. I live with a Minnesota Vikings fan, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
So, before we move on, if Brian Flores takes a defensive coordinator job, a head coaching job, how much does that lower your opinion on this Vikings team entering next year if they still run back J.J. McCarthy?
Well, one, I think it'll depend upon how he finishes the season, right? If towards the end of the season, if it's finally coming together, then I would say that I would have more. I would be more inclined to believe that they could do something. And we know how quickly it can turn around for quarterbacks, right? Once you get a couple games under your belt and you get that rhythm, they've got a good offense. This offense, the scheme is set up perfectly for him. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm. It's timing, it's rhythm, it's set up perfectly for him, but he's just not seeing the field right now.
Okay. And then one final one. Do you have any concerns about Justin Jefferson maybe wanting out? Because some of that effort against the Ravens was not pretty after interceptions. And it makes me concerned for their sake of keeping him long term.
All I'm going to say about that is that any GM that looked at that tape and saw the effort with the price tag should be like, moving on.
Yeah, then I look at one of his one-handed catches and I'm saying, hello, Minnesota, how are you?
Nope. Because ultimately, you have 70 men on your roster. And you can't expect them to give everything they've got when the highest paid person on your roster literally walks. Sorry. You talked about loving a team. You talked about how the Chargers loved each other, and they ran and they hugged and everything else. And that is why they are 7-3.
I I think a large part of this just comes back to the fact that he's not a JJ McCarthy believer, because if we go back to in training camp, he was kind of implying he did not look good. There were comments he had, and it was like, yeah, it kind of just, to me, it feels like he's just sick of it. And the reason why I would say, Jeff Jefferson, loved Kirk Cousins, loved Sam Darnold. I didn't see him have an issue with Carson Wentz. I think it's a one-player problem with Justin Jefferson.
I don't care if it's you don't do what he did, period. You're getting paid that much money. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, because if he has moved, I would expect him to ball out with a better team. But
well, I don't want to see him in Seattle. Not with that attitude.
Yeah. Moving on to the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Can Bucky Irving just come back already?
I think that Tampa Bay has done really well juggling the amount of injuries that they've had on their roster, and so yeah, they're going to get healthy at some point in time. I don't know if they'll have all three of their superstar receivers on the field at one time this year, but what I will say is that if they have two of their receivers and then Bucky, and I mean, they are deadly.
Yeah. Do I have my concerns for the Bucs? Yeah. It's called this offensive line sometimes can go, whoops, you're going to die, Baker. But they're a very good, talented team, and there's such a gap between them and the rest of this division that they're kind of almost a little boring to talk about right now, because they have so many injuries. It's like, well, we don't even have the Mike Evans to discuss. Emeka Buka's looked awesome, but Chris Godwin's hurt, Bucky Irving's hurt. They have a lot of injuries, and they're managing the storm very well. They're winning football games, and they look good doing it. This is a process over results team. The process has looked really good in all their games, except one against Detroit, but that was a team that was so beat up against a Detroit team that wanted to prove a point.
Yeah. Oh, I'd say that all in all, they're going to get healthy and they're going to go on a run. Right now, if there has to be some concern that they're only half a game ahead of the Panthers. So,
those Panthers are feisty.
they are, and you got to give them credit.
And I still don't know if they're good.
Kind of depends upon the week, right? So looking back at the order, I had Tampa, Atlanta, Carolina, and the Saints, and
yep, same.
And Atlanta has been pretty much a letdown. Carolina, we thought was scrappy towards the end of the year, but I just really had high hopes that Atlanta was going to turn it around. Other than that, the division is what I thought it was, right?
I thought Atlanta would be much better. Their defense is better. I don't know if Zach Robinson's the guy that has to be outed, but hey, sounds like he's probably going to college football. Based off everything I've seen, he is one of the top candidates to become the head coach at Oklahoma State, so we'll maybe see if that's the issue there. But their defense has looked better. It's just I don't get what's wrong with them. And the one thing I will say is they haven't really had those horrible losses outside of Carolina. That was a horrible loss. But like the Patriots, they lost because of a missed extra point. The Colts, they just took to overtime. They've taken good teams to the limit, so it's just really weird of what's the issue.
Yeah. The Saints, we knew that they were going to be bad this year. They're going to be in a rebuilding mode. So
I've loved their effort. That's what I will say. I've loved their effort this year.
Absolutely.
I'm buying Nikhil Moore as head coach because he seems to have belief in that locker room.
I'd say so. The NFC West.
Okay, we're ending this podcast now. Okay, let's talk about the best team in that division, Los Angeles Rams.
I would agree. I honestly, I think that the Rams are the best team in this division.
So I'm just going to read off my list, and I'm going to let you go on because I'm going to have a take that's going to have you threatening me here in a couple minutes. But I had it as Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, 49ers. Cardinals, disappointing for me. I have given up on Kyler Murray. I gave up on Kyler Murray well into this year. It was horrible. You got to move off him. Jacoby Brissett's looked pretty good. 49ers, they have an injury that rivals so many things. It's not even funny. I don't think they can sustain this, but who knows at this point. And then Rams, Seahawks are the classless division. They have looked amazing offensively, defensively, no matter how you look at it. These are the two teams that are the class, the NFC West. And now I'll hand it over to you before I make you angry with a hot take.
No, I'd say that you're 100% accurate about what all you said. We both thought the Rams were going to be better. I'm sorry, the Cardinals were going to be better. Their defense has looked good at times, but I mean they've had the injury bug as well, and depth is a problem there. Never been a Kyler Murray fan. Have always liked him in Arizona because I don't think that he's the big game winner. And I love Jacoby Brissett. You love Jacoby Brissett. The fact that, this team is his for the rest of the year, and maybe maybe moving forward, they see what he can do for him next year, and they draft somebody. It'd be nice to see. I like I said, I like Jacoby Brissett, and I think that the team plays well under him. Right, he's incorporating the receivers better than Kyler was. Still gets the tight ends a lot of ball. I mean, you think about their offense; they lost their top 3 running backs early on in the season and have been just by committee. So give them credit. San Francisco. I mean, this is like a version of The Walking Dead. This is the NFL version of The Walking Dead, and the fact that they're 6-4, they beat the Rams the first time they played. Everybody said going into it that they did have the softest schedule in the NFL, and it's a good thing, right? Because obviously, they are stretched way beyond the breaking limit, and yet they still keep coming back. They even pushed the Rams last week before they opened it up there again at the end. The Rams and the Seahawks are definitely the class of the division. I still have the Rams as the number 1 team in the division. I just think that they're better. When you look at quarterback play, you have to consider Stafford as an MVP candidate this year. Darnold has been playing superbly as well, but there's been more ball control concerns with him. Seattle has lost fumbles, and he's had a few more interceptions. Stafford is taking care of the ball really, really well. And so I look at this, and this Sunday could be a good game. It's going to be a really good game. So I think this division moving forward, especially next year when potentially you have the 49ers at full health and the Rams are going to be at full health and the Cardinals will be at full health and Seahawks. I think for the next couple of years, you're looking at the best division in football right here.
I can see that. A lot of it depends if Stafford wants to come back and play. We just don't know. But I think Sunday's a preview. I think Sunday's a preview for the NFC Championship game.
We don't talk about previews.
I just the past couple of weeks watching these two teams, the Lions I do very much like. They can give that a challenge, but the way these two teams have won, it's just been by execution style to their opponents. And that's what I want to see in these contenders. I don't want to see we barely edged it out. I can accept that for 1 to 2 games. After some point, I need to see you prove it to me. These two teams have proved it to me. And listen, have they been against the best competition? You can say no. but the way they have dominated, it just speaks volumes to me.
So you're 100% right on your, like who you beat. But when you say, oh, they barely beat these teams that they should be better than, right? And so your net points average is 26 or whatever else. Seattle's is 103. The Rams is 98, right? And so they're both winning convincingly. And I think the rest of this year is going to be an indicator about just how good this division is. And like I said, San Francisco, take your hat off to them because they've played really, really well. There's a lot of questions revolving about the 49ers and their quarterback situation right now, right? And nobody really knows what's going on, but I mean, you look at, obviously Seattle was confident that Darnold was going to do it, probably more so than I was. I will be 100%. Going into the season, had a preference that they would have kept Geno. Geno didn't want to be there. I understood that. They did the best they could, but still saying I would have liked to have had them keep Geno. I understood the DK move, so that was it. But I thought Sam Darnold would play well, but he's playing stellar. I thought JSN would be good, but he's above average right now, right? And so it's going to be interesting to see how this team develops through the rest of the year because every week they stack a new component onto what they're doing. And the Rams are just the Rams. And is it, in my opinion, and this is not what I had. Hold on real quick. Let me get, so my Super Bowl preview was Bills versus Eagles. My new Super Bowl prediction, if we made one today, I would say it would be LA versus LA. I'm done.
You ready for mine?
Yeah.
So let's go all the way back to our first Super Bowl prediction. I don't even think we recorded this, but for all the offseason, I was spouting off Rams, Bills. Then I saw some of the Matt Stafford stuff, and I got, I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah.
I backed
was
off.
Was I right about that, by the way?
You were right. And then I went Bills, Packers. Well, check the date. We're recording this on November 12th, 2025. I don't have either of those two teams making the Super Bowl. Representing the AFC, I have Jim Harbaugh's Los Angeles Chargers, a team that loves each other, that plays with each other. They are so scary. And then representing the NFC, I have Mike McDonald in the Seattle Seahawks with Sam Darnold's resurrection tour continuing to the Super Bowl.
All right, that's it. This podcast is over. Thank everybody for showing up. He is definitely off his marbles. Just so everybody understands where we're going with this, neither one of us likes to hear our teams as a front runner for anything. So Steelers and Seahawks.
I don't mind it.
And he tortured me with the Mariners, and now he's trying to do the same thing with the Seahawks.
No, I'm not joking. You can click on recent videos. I titled a video on Sunday, a YouTube short that said the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl contenders. That's truly how good I think they are. Sam Darnold has looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. It's not even funny.
Well, Sam appreciates that.
And he's also bailed out my fantasy team, so I got to show a little love.
There you go. Him and JSN both.
Yep. All that stack's been awesome. But thank you very much for watching this podcast. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And hey, a lot of these are going to be uploaded as shorts. So if you clicked on the related video part of the YouTube short and you wanted to check this out in full length, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you tune in. We may do another one before the playoffs. I don't know. It depends on our schedules. But this was a lot of fun looking back at our wrong predictions, at our right predictions, owning up to our mistakes, which, let's be honest, anyone with a microphone kind of hates to do that. But we did it. Authenticity, whatever mumbo jumbo you have there, whatever was taught as a child, I don't really remember. It's been so long. Kidding. But that's going to wrap us up for today. I hope you enjoyed this. And tune in Friday. If you thought I went in on the Denver Broncos in this podcast, oh, just wait. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.